I would love y'all. I would love to lay this next story at the feet of crackers. I would. I would love to 100% blame the whites. I really would. I can't blame the whites because I mean you can of course this is America, of course. Blaming the whites, you don't have to reach far to do that. The whites are responsible for quite a bit. Unfortunately, they are not solely responsible for this debacle that happened in New York City. Guys, do me a favor, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, support us at patreon.com/BIDWKB. A very peculiar situation happened at a Brooklyn high school over the past week, and it happened in part because there was severe weather in the New York City area. And Will, if you could, I just want us to give I just want to set the table, if I may, to even give you an idea of the conditions, the weather conditions. There are other conditions to consider here, but let's talk about the weather conditions first and foremostly. We are in the middle of winter. The middle of winter. We're talking about New York City. And there was a relatively sizable storm that blew through the area. And let's pick it up from there, Will, and the effect that this storm had on thousands of migrants who are being housed at a tent encampment in Brooklyn that is outdoors. It's fucking January. Will, if we could pick up the story starting with the weather.
The storm also took a toll on Long Island, where it left parts of Suffolk County flooded and will make the commute rough this morning.
Yes, it will. Here in the city, wicked winds knocked down trees and power lines and also forced the city to evacuate nearly 2,000 migrants from a Brooklyn shelter. Let's get right to Lizette Nunez. She is live in Marine Park with the very latest. Lizette?
Good morning to Johnnie and Dan. Well, all the migrants have since been taken back to Floyd Bennett Field. They were only here for a few hours to spend the night inside the gymnasium at James Madison High School. And the reason for that is because Floyd Bennett Field is prone to flooding. Bus after bus pulled up in front of James Madison High School in Brooklyn. Hundreds of migrant families rushed in as they attempted to get out of the pouring rain. This man saying they have us like dogs in the street. Our children are wet from the rain. Everyone is soaked. Yesterday, the city temporarily relocated 1,900 migrants from Floyd Bennett Field to James Madison High School as a precaution due to the strong storm. This woman was frustrated, saying they keep being relocated all over the place. Yesterday, Mayor Adams and New York City Emergency Management Commissioner Zach Iscol toured the respite center. All migrants are expected to exit the school this morning, and students will have classes remotely. Those who live nearby angry about the situation.
We all should be safe from all type of weather, but these people should have been deported back to where they came from because they came into this country illegally. They didn't come here to make our country better. I believe they came here just for votes. They're already getting free New York IDs. They're getting free shelter, free food.
The powerful storm caused...
All right, that's enough. Thank you, Will, for recognizing my cue there. I told Will before the show happened, I said, Will, on that first package, I said, I need you to cut it when that dickhead in the red finishes talking. And look, Will immediately recognized the dickhead in the red when he finished talking. The fuck?
Sure did. I was like, what the fuck is he? They're getting stuff. And, they shouldn't get things. Oh, okay. Police. Motherfuckers, the police. Okay. I'm sorry.
I believe everybody should be safe from the weather, except these people are illegal. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, we should have left them out at Floyd Bennett Field so they could get washed away by the flood. Oh, we should have left them outdoors exposed to the elements so they could what? Get hypothermia, perhaps freeze to death. I mean, what are we really saying here? And y'all, there is no shortages of opinions like that son bitch there in New York City. Not to say that I was shocked. I mean, I know, first of all, there's a lot of pro-immigrant organizations in New York City that are doing their best to help these folks, these migrants who have been bussed from the border, from Florida, from fucking Texas, from Arizona. bitch ass DeSantis, bitch ass Greg Abbott, whoever the fuck the governor is in Arizona. These motherfuckers been sending migrants, busloads of them northward. We know this, to DC, to Baltimore, to Philadelphia, to New York, to Chicago, sending them everywhere, right? Just like they are cattle. Okay. The complete dehumanization of these migrants is appalling. Okay. But I guess good on New York Emergency Management Services to have the short-sightedness to understand that there was a storm coming and that you basically had 2,000 people sleeping outside in a tent encampment in an area that is prone to flooding. So in very short order, New York services mustered up and decided to open or close, depending on your position, James Madison High School in Brooklyn. This is a well-known high school, I believe. BK, let me know if I got this right or wrong. This is Bernie Sanders High School. This is Chuck Schumer's high school. This is in a neighborhood in Brooklyn that is known for immigrant communities. The Jewish community immigrant there, Russians immigrant, Italians. New York, basically, the history of the fucking city is about welcoming different waves of immigrant communities. But when it comes to these brown folks coming from below the southern border, some New Yorkers are like, fuck that shit. Fuck all that immigrant shit. But I want you guys, this is the hilarity, if you want to take any crumb of humor out of it, right? But it's also the absurdity. And it's also something that really infuriated me. This next clip, the next package, if you could, because I want y'all to hear some of the accents of the people who protested out front of James Madison High School. Hold up? Did I tell the story right? Okay, I'm sorry. So when the 1,900 migrants were moved by New York Emergency Management Services to James Madison High School, what they did was, for the students attending the high school, they closed the school for one day, had the children learn remotely for one day, right? And these motherfuckers, and I say these motherfuckers, some of these Brooklynites lost their goddamn minds. But they were spurred on, they were fueled on by the right-wing extremist echo chamber, because the right wing seized upon this and made a big deal out of it. Like, American children are being displaced in favor of the illegals. We'll run this package, and I want y'all to listen to the accents of the niggas complaining about the immigrants.
We worry about the health of our kids. We worry about the education of our kids.
Tatiana Lerner's son is a junior at James Madison. She helped lead a group of parents and politicians protesting outside the empty school Wednesday. Children were forced to go to remote learning after it was used overnight to evacuate migrants due to high winds at the Floyd Bennett Field tent encampment.
If it's a one-time thing, it's bad enough. But if it's going to be a reoccurring event, it's definitely not acceptable.
Assemblywoman Jamie Williams has been raising the alarm about Floyd Bennett Field from the beginning and says now her daughter, a James Madison senior, is sitting at home, not learning a thing.
Don't think they're doing schoolwork. My daughter is home. You know what she has to do today? Submit some missing work.
At one point, tensions boiled over during the protest press conference.
You're equating them to being filthy.
Desiree Joy Frias, a Bronx activist and lawyer, accused the gathered group of xenophobia. In fact, there was a bomb threat at the school overnight and many hate-filled calls to school officials, according to New York City Emergency Management Commissioner Zach Iscol, who oversaw the evacuation.
The bomb threat has been cleared by PD, and there's no longer an threat.
Iscol defended the evacuation and the use of Floyd Bennett Field as the best bad option the city has as it struggles to handle thousands of migrants still arriving each week. He says the migrants were out of the high school by 4:30 in the morning, and remote schooling was chosen out of an abundance of caution in case the weather got worse.
I don't think my children should be subject to have to stay home while the migrants. I'm sorry. Hey, y'all, come on, don't play me. I am not mocking speakers of other languages besides English, but do y'all see the delicious and the simultaneous repulsive irony of motherfuckers who themselves are clearly immigrants, right? Like, I don't know if first gen, second gen, your grandmama was not born here, and you got all the chest, you got all the smoke for the migrants who have traveled thousands of miles under horrific conditions, not to mention the horrific conditions that they fled from, which were created, by the way, in their home countries by US imperialist powers and policies, right? These people fled thousands of miles to get to this border for a better chance for themselves and for their kids, right? And yet somehow these old immigrants, oh, these, I'm going to climb the ladder of success and climb the ladder of immigration, and I'm going to pull that shit right up behind me. Can you imagine, like, the fucking cheek, the temerity, the audacity of someone who literally come from another place for the same reason that the migrants from the southern border, below the southern border, have come, and tell them that you have a problem with them being there because your child was displaced from school, not from their house. No one came up and took a sandwich out your kid's hand and said, "This is for the migrants." Go fuck yourself. But it got worse. It was some more ugliness. Will, if you could, cue up the insane white woman, if you may. This video seemingly went viral, or the video of the person who recorded this woman. But the video clip that we're about to show is her first person accounting. Okay. So this is the video of, it sounds like a white Brooklyn woman. I'm like, who is that? Marissa Tomei? Why is Marissa Tomei out there screaming out there? Is that Annabella Cioria? Why is Annabella Cioria out there screaming at the migrants? Because it sounds just like all that, stereotypical white Brooklyn woman. And she's giving all of it. But then she's giving some of that vintage, white Brooklyn woman racism. You fucking, I mean, she didn't say you fucking niggas, but if it had been niggas, she probably would have said, "You fucking niggas, get your fucking nigga mooly asses out of here." I know that sounded like Edith Bunker a little bit. My bad. I'm gonna work on that. Will,
seek help.
You said what?
Seek some help. That Brooklyn accent is right. Like, yo, all right, I'm sorry, I'm ready. I got the clip ready.
That's not it. That wasn't the right woman Brooklyn accent. Sony. I'm gonna leave it alone. Well, let's listen to this lady. This lady is extremely unhinged, but just listen to the cruelty, listen to the vitriol, listen to how she's screaming on these people like it was them that brought the fucking weather. Anyway, just check this out.
They're towing residents' cars across the street from James Madison to bring all the migrants in. Look what they're doing. Look at all the buses that are going to James Madison. This is why our kids are being kicked out. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Look at their shit. Look at this. My kids are supposed to be going to school tomorrow here, and you fucking guys are kicking my kids out because it's bullshit. How do you feel? How do you feel? Makes you feel good? I hope it makes you feel really good. How does it feel that you kicked all the kids out of school tomorrow? How does it feel? Do you feel good? I hope you feel good. I hope you all sleep really well tonight. Because I have a right to. That's why. That's why. Because I'm an aggravated mother. That's why. Yeah, look at them. Look at them. Look at them. Taking over my kid's school. You kicked all the kids out to sleep here tonight, huh? How long you staying? What a shame. Yeah, peace out, you piece of shit. Feels real good, right? Look at them, look at them. Everything for free, right? Everything for free. Look, they're coming with their suitcases, so they must be staying for a while. I think you guys are staying for a while, huh? We like kicking out New York City American kids, huh? How does it feel? Yeah, shake your head, because you know it's wrong. Oh, I'm fucking pissed. I'm pissed. Yeah, that's right.
A lot of buses coming in.
Yep. Look at all these buses. Look at this. It's lines of them going down the street.
Anybody that has a white media van, they're gonna tow it.
Make you happy.
Whew. That's vintage. Although it's recent, even though that's 2024 racism, that feels like it's been aged. What is that? 44? 32? What is that? What year is that? Is that kind of sounded like 1918 racism or 1966 racism. Wow, how did she age that racism that quick? How did she make that shit sound like she's been racisming for years, decades? It's wild, y'all. It's wild. In New York, y'all, I mean, y'all know this better than really the most of us, right? Like all my friends from New York that were New Yorkers, especially like in college. I remember meeting people from New York and they'd be like, well, where are your people from? And I'm like, Virginia and Arkansas. They're like, no, but where are they from? And I'm like, Virginia and Arkansas, nigga. Because they was expecting me to say a country. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, ain't no migrant immigrant story in my lineage that I'm aware of, at least not recent. But that's what it is. It's the culture of immigration in New York. Everybody's from fucking somewhere. And if you yourself ain't from somewhere, your mama and them from somewhere, your grandmama and them from somewhere. Like Marissa Tomei, you know what? Let me not even slander Marissa Tomei in that way. But she did sound like Marissa Tomei, didn't she? Maybe we'll call her Melissa. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with Italian Melissa right there, but she was furious. And she just sounded like the worst fucking racist Karen. Even though she didn't use any slurs, she didn't have to. All that shit was coded and immediately decoded, right? Talk about, look at these fucking people, they get everything for fucking free. Oh, like the colonists did, like the settlers did when they came over to this country and stole the whole fucking country, right? From the natives, from the indigenous people. They got everything for free. Didn't they get their labor for free out of the enslaved people? Like, it's like white Europeans, like, y'all know all about coming here and getting shit for free. So it's like when you see non-white Europeans coming over here and allegedly getting shit for free, and we can get into whatever you think the immigrants might be getting. I assure you, they ain't getting what the fuck you think they're getting. Because if they was, why the fuck would they be sleeping in tents outside? Please make it make goddamn sense. But the shamefulness, I mean, it's so shameful. And this is supposed to be a Christian country. And we know that despite all the flowery words of one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all that bullshit that's inscribed at the feet of the Statue of Liberty, bullshit. And we need our immigrant family to understand this. And I know people are going to come anyway because the situation is so dire where they are coming from. I don't know, Ecuador, Honduras, like it's a realer situation even than here, especially than here, because the U.S. and American imperialism makes things harder for the global South in a myriad of ways. Fucks up their economies, destabilizes their elections, so many nations in the global south, especially in this hemisphere, lean left and socialist, but for the fucking US coming to fuck shit up, right? Coming to destabilize, assassinate, coup, and make the conditions in those countries tough. So those people look northward and see where potential opportunities lie, and they risk life and limb to do that, y'all. And I'm telling you, it is the coldest, hardest shit to look at these folks, these migrants, and to think they don't deserve shelter in a storm. And because American high school children, not, you know what, I maybe could even seen if it was an elementary school and parents had to make arrangements for the elementary school age child the following day. You can't leave your 8-year-old, at least you shouldn't leave your 8-year-old at home all day while you go and work, but you sure as shit can leave a 16-year-old, right? So them closing the fucking high school was not, to me, not a huge deal. Well, if you could pop up the article from the city, because the kids themselves were shocked that their school became the center of this media frenzy, but it seemed to be wholly, not, I can't even say wholly ginned up by the right, but it became a big talker on the right. But when I was flipping through videos and shit, I was like astounded. I mean, and maybe I shouldn't have been, silly me, because I know we have a lot of Black people who have conservative ideas. They may not outright say that they are Republicans. Maybe they aren't Republicans. But it was a lot of TikTokers with New York accents, Brooklyn accents. Yo, son, I just dropped my daughter off and shit. They had the school closed and shit. They making way for 2,000 illegals. I'm like, dog, I'm like, Nori, stop. Not Nori, let me shut up. That wasn't Nori. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, the anti-immigrant right-wing rhetoric is too easily picked up by my folks, man. It's too easily picked up by Black people. When I hear Black people repeating that xenophobic bullshit, I'm like, dog, like, you are pitting yourself against these brown migrants when it is the white elites, mostly white elites, that are forcing all of us on the ground to fight for crumbs. You understand? Like, it's insanity to see migrants or immigrants, as I'm talking about the ones that were outside of the school protesting against the migrants, like the people with clear accents, people who are clearly speakers of other languages themselves protesting against undocumented folks whose conditions are worse than theirs. So in this article, it goes on to talk about James Madison High School. It's a pretty big high school, had to been, to accommodate 1,900 migrants. The 1,900 migrants slept in the school's gymnasium and in the cafeteria. And that fucking Italian bitch Melissa, shout out to the goddess Marissa Tomei, but that other Italian bitch Melissa was out there screaming, I hope you guys are fucking comfortable. I see you got your suitcases. Oh yeah, they comfortable to go sleep in the fucking cafeteria, Melissa. Yep, they comfortable to go sleep in the motherfucking gym, Melissa. They were just sleeping at the field in the tent encampment. I'm sure you thought they were sleeping in the lap of luxury. Again, Americans are so fucking ignorant. It should tell you how dire the situation these undocumented people came from, to see if this was a situation that they, I won't say aspire to, but a situation that they are willing to deal with, sleeping outside and being bussed around from this place to that place to this place to that place. Because Joe Biden, let's start there, because the United States at this moment in time, helmed by President Joe Biden, has piss poor policies at the border that in real time are changing the rules for asylum seekers, just like his predecessor, Donald Trump, just like his predecessor, fucking Barack Hussein Obama. Like, America really has the gall, to talk about, we treat children right, we treat people good here. And we don't. And we don't. You must be white. See, I understand. Like, we could talk about class all day, and that's fine, and that's relevant, and it matters, and it is significant. But these are the areas in which race is clearly demarcated, right? And I guess, if they was wealthy undocumented people at the border, their situation may be way different. So yeah, these are poor people, but these are all poor brown and black folks coming from the southern border. And you see that, and you see in the way that they are treated. And you've even heard the reports from the border that sometimes when white Ukrainians find themselves at the southern border trying to gain entrance, it's like, oh, the white, come on in. We did no, there's a point system. The whites get to enter in first. So anyway, back to James Madison High School. So once it was announced that the school would be housing these 1,900 migrants, I mean, that's a lot of fucking people. That's 2,000 people sleeping outside, which is madness in itself just to think about. I don't know why it garnered so much fury. Um and I guess it's the entitlement of Americans that don't feel as though that their lives should be inconvenienced or compromised in any way, shape, or form for those that they feel are lesser than them. And just the hypocrisy, the glaring hypocrisy of it all. I'm sure these are people that go to mass. These are people that go to synagogue. These are people that go to church on fucking Sunday, and they praise God, and they look at their portrait of white Jesus on the wall, and they said, what would Jesus do? And if if it was me in Bethlehem 2,000 years ago and I saw Mary and Joseph, and Mary is pregnant, I would have given them shelter so she could give birth to the refugee savior of us all, to the Christians, right? But these motherfuckers don't see. Of course, if you've been worshiping white Jesus all your life, there's no way you could ever think Jesus was anything but white, right? So surely little Julio, little Jose, little Rosalita, one of them could never be Jesus, right? So you can shit all over them, right? Isn't that right? It's the cruelty, y'all. I don't even know who originated that phrase. The cruelty is the point. And this notion that it is other black and brown people bemoaning the presence of the undocumented as y'all are the ones taking from us. Y'all are taking from us. You, brown person, are taking from me, black person. And the white man get paid off of all of that, right? And the white elites are just sitting up on high, watching the rats fight over teeny tiny pieces of cheese and just laughing their asses off. And I hate to hear, it's one thing to hear it from the racist whites, be expected, but when I hear it coming from black folks, it's the epitome of sadness to me, because it's like you see yourself, black folks that have these positions, these anti-migrant positions, these anti-immigrant positions, you see yourself as the oppressor, or you would like to be. That's the position. You see yourself in a position over these people. You think that because we have been here longer, right? Our sufferation has been more prolonged, more pronounced. Well, no, it's us up next to get whatever is due to us. Make them people wait. Duh, 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 duh. Why don't we all squad up and take it from the fucking elites? We could take it, we could redistribute it however the fuck we want. But I'm not going to sit here with my hand out and be mad that I was getting a whole loaf of bread, but now fucking Consuela done made me, now they only giving me half a loaf of bread. Fuck you, Consuela. No, that's the wrong. It ain't Consuela's fault. Consuela ain't do the shit. Consuela don't have no power to do it. Just Consuela's presence isn't enough to take from you. You were not being given what we as the people deserve to have in this society. And the reason that we as a black community don't have it is not because of the undocumented. It is because of the whites. The elite whites, not our white friends, of course, but the elites, all right? And I know y'all be like, Kim, there's elites of all races. Yes, there are. But in America, y'all, let us be for real here. Okay? Because we know the black billionaires are the poor billionaires compared to the white billionaires. Let us not even play games here. But you guys understand what I'm saying, though, right? And this is the kind of time, and this is another thing. I want people to understand because and I'm glad that there's a couple of things I want us to understand here. First of all, let's please continue to abandon the myth of American exceptionalism, that America is the best place to come because we have the most opportunities for immigrants, and everybody in the world wants to come here because of what they can make out of their lives. No. No. Maybe on one hand, yes, but that is the reality of American exceptionalism. America is exceptionally cruel to people that they don't view as human. Okay. And they will force people to sleep outside when the city of New York has a vacancy rate of housing that is very high. And if the city wanted to rent apartments for long term housing solutions while undocumented people get their shit together or whatever, they could do that, but they're choosing not to do that. And to be honest, to some of the xenophobic people's point, the city of New York could also do that for its own fucking residents. It could. So don't get mad, but don't get mad at the undocumented people because the city, that is Eric Adams under the Adams administration, destroyed the tent of an American unhoused person, but gave a tent to an undocumented unhoused person. You need to be mad at fucking Eric Adams. You need to be mad at that New York City budget in which the NYPD got how much, y'all? It's a shit ton of money. I want to say $10 billion. I may be exaggerating, but maybe I'm not exaggerating. It might be $10 billion for the NYPD budget. That actually maybe sounds correct. And Eric Adams is crying broke. Well, the city don't have the money to accommodate all these undocumented people. Yeah, you do. You could cut from that NYPD budget any fucking time you felt like it. You don't need $10 billion worth of policing. Quite obviously, you need at least $2 billion worth of housing. Okay? So there's that. But the other part of the mythology that we need to abandon, in addition to the fact that, America's a good place for immigrants and this, that, and the third, and goddamn it, I was on the road and I fucking forgot my point. The other thing that we need to abandon is, that these people are getting a lot of shit for free. What are they getting for free? A tent? What they get for free? A ID? Like, did you see that nigga in the red complaining? Brown as shit. Complaining about the other browns. They get all this shit for free. And I think that they just come here for votes. Y'all, in that the NYC or the city article, they talked about that Brooklyn neighborhood. Is Enzy Bell in here? Where are my Brooklynites? Where Brooklyn at? Brooklyn. They said that part of Brooklyn is very red and went very heavily for Trump in 2020. And I said, I can see that. I can completely see how that could have been a thing because, if there had been a field out front of James Madison High School and not a street of concrete, there would have been a cross burnt, okay, by other motherfuckers with accents would have had the audacity to burn a cross and complain about the presence of the migrants for one night at their high school, at the students' high school, which, by the way, like I said, the migrants slept in the gymnasium and in the cafeteria. And the following day, the school was thoroughly deeply cleaned, had a deep cleaning. Yes. This high school's Facebook page received threats, received nasty messages, and America will always make time to be mean. Okay. Look at what's happening in Palestine. Why wouldn't we think nothing or have the expectation that 1,900 migrants on our soil should suffer exposure or suffer hypothermia or even worse, get washed away in a flood, right? Why would that even bother Americans when our bombs are responsible for the murder of thousands of Palestinians, many of those thousands children? We're quite comfortable with that. This is all the reasons that America needs to fall down, that America needs to go away. I'm sorry, I don't believe that a place that is founded on evil, that continues to perpetuate evil, I don't see why evil places should get to stand. I don't. I don't. And what it looks like after, I don't know. I don't know. Could the shit be worse? And that's what all pessimists say. Whoa, you could be worse. Yeah, but the shit could be better. Why don't we take a shot at better?